So this panel is about breaking barriers and addressing women's mental health in India. I will just take it across to all our panelists one by one. What, according to you, is the biggest barrier? So just one barrier that you think is the biggest in the way of addressing women's mental health in India. Maybe Dr. Kamna, we can begin with you.
Thank you, Pooja. I believe that one of the biggest challenges currently, if you're looking at it, is of course accessibility at this point in time when you're looking at addressing mental health concerns. Like Dr. Parekh was also mentioning, you're looking at more than a 300% shortage of experts. You're not just looking at that, you're looking at a disproportionate distribution of professionals across the country. The further away you go from the main towns and cities, the lesser the number of experts who are available. And while, of course, mental health services are beginning to support access, however, we have a very, very large, long way to go when we are looking at making sure that that is taken care of in a more comprehensive manner.
Yeah, thank you. Tanuja ji.
Please call me Tanuja.
Yeah, Tanuja, please.
I would think that it is not considering it an illness to begin with or an issue to begin with. Even a common cold is given more importance than one's mental health. And you don't water plants when they're dying. You water plants to make them healthy. So this should start right at the start. I mean, I don't see why seeing a therapist when you apparently don't have any problems is not required. You should see a therapist when you seemingly are healthy. Then you will actually find out how unhealthy you are. Yeah. So I think that it's just not given its due importance as a raging issue and a problem that is very much there in all our bodies. And I think that's a tragedy because you find out about it way too late in life, and then you sort of go hiding to see therapists and to find out that you really should have done this a long time ago. So I think it's which I think is just terrible.
Thank you. Dr. Sujata.
Hi, good morning and happy Sivaratri to all of you. Before giving answer to this particular question, I would like to know how many of you know that which one is considered as a Women's Day in India? Anyone? Do we really have a day? Yeah? How many of us know? I think 99% of us, we do not know that Sarojini Naidu's birthday, that is 23rd of February, is once upon a day considered or was considered as Women's Day. But we all know that it is 8th March. Right? So the problem itself starts with us. As individuals, how we consider, how we approach mental health, what is our understanding about mental health, and how हम कितना उसको जैकेट प्रूफ कर देते हैं, ब्रैकेटेड कर देते हैं. और जब हमारी सोच, हमारे अप्रोच दोनों ही मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए ऐसा है, तो वो ना वर्टिकली जाएगा ना हॉरिजॉन्टली जाएगा, कभी भी हेल्थ के साथ इंटीग्रेशन नहीं होगा. as very correctly and very emphatically highlighted by Dr. Parekh. It starts with us only. जब हम accessibility बोलते हैं, availability बोलते हैं, वो bigger issues है, right? But it starts with us कि what do we understand about mental health and how we approach mental health at our personal level, at our family level, at a community level, and then the tertiary or government level, whatever it is. But what is our attitude? Whether we are talking about mental health or mental illness or both. So how do we approach it? That problem starts from there, and that is the first barrier. And I hope all of you, we all are assembled here because we belong to a certain socio-economic status. Whatever the women who are at the bottom of the society, at the middle level of the society, what is mental health for them? How do they think about it? So the thought itself is very, very important when we talk about mental health and the barrier towards it. Right?
Thank you,
so for me, it is our approach and our thought. That's the biggest barrier.
Dr. Pankaj.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. And first of all, wishing you a very happy International Women's Day. I would like to answer this question just one word that goes like mindset. That's the biggest hurdle. Everything which I believe good or bad, starts in your mind. The idea is the basic thing which starts up, either positive or negative. If it's not in your mind, it can't be outside. So automatically, whatever has to start or not to start has to be in your mind or not in your mind. So automatically, whatever biggest hurdle is in mindset, till we change that mindset, all other criteria, stigma, accessibility, policies, government policies, how do you look in mental health, how do you look a female, how do you look transgender, how do you look other person, a colleague, whatever. It all starts and ends up in the mindset. So we need to change the mindset. That's a root cause of any problem and make it in a positive way and not just talk, as Dr. Parik said, just one day and just forget things within an hour or so. The mindset has to change. It's a gradual process and it has to change gradually, and daily we need to do something about it, and so that we reach where we should be doing a good thing for our society and the women overall. Thank you.
Thank you. Deepika.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. My name is Deepika, and I work for transgender people, transgender sex workers, female sex workers as well. I have worked for. So I think मैं जब सबसे मिली हूँ और मुझे पता है when I met everyone, so most of them suffers with mental health problem. But the thing is, क्या सच में हमको mental health पता है कि mental health होता क्या है? मुझे तो वही नहीं पता. मुझे खुद भी नहीं पता था when I was 27. जब तक 27 साल की उम्र में आई तब तक मुझे भी नहीं पता था. तो पहला वही जानना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है ना. तो हम सब पॉलिसीज और ये सब चीज़ों की बात करते हैं. वी वांट टू टॉक अबाउट दैट. वी हैव ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड वन सिस्टम. वी हैव चेकलिस्ट दिस दैट. वी हैव 185 क्वेश्चन विद इन वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चनर. उसके थ्रू हम जाना चाहते हैं टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाट इज इट. So if we really want to understand, we have to give this information at the school level when there is education at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16 or at age of 22. तब समझाएंगे तो मेंटल हेल्थ समझ में आएगा ना. अब आप जाके समझा रहे हैं, जब उसको सोशियो कल्चर नॉर्म्स में फिट होने की आदत हो गई है, तब कहाँ जाके समझ में आने वाला है मेंटल हेल्थ? आएगा क्या? आता है क्या? मेरे दादी को समझ में नहीं आता है. आई एम सॉरी, मेरे पापा को भी समझ में नहीं आता एट द एज ऑफ 64 what is mental health, but he is suffering with mental health. My mother is suffering with mental health issues, but they don't talk about that, और उनको समझ में भी नहीं आएगा. They don't want to go to psychiatrist. I'm sorry, they don't want to go to psychiatrist. And यहाँ बैठे हुए बहुत सारे लोग होंगे, but we are also not going to the psychiatrist. हम बहुत सारे स्टेज पे आके बात करते हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे वर्कशॉप्स में आके बैठेंगे तो लगेगा कि हाँ चलो बात करते हैं इस इशू पे, बट हम खुद भी नहीं जा रहे हैं ये सब करने के लिए. सो मुझे लगता है कि मेरे लिए मेंटल हेल्थ वो है कि सबसे पहले तो हमें हमारे दिमाग को ओपन करना है. सबसे पहले हमें उस चीज को उस एज में जाके सुधारना है, ठीक करना है, ताकि आगे आने वाले भविष्य को ठीक किया जा सके. आज तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता. आई एम सॉरी, मुझे ऐसा लगता है पर्सनली.
So I think all of you, the essence of it is the lack of awareness. Whether it is because of, as Kamna highlighted, the differences in cities, in access, or as Tanuja said, or Dr. Satpathy said कि awareness नहीं है अपने यहाँ आसपास क्या है. डॉक्टर पंकज ने माइंडसेट की बात की, दीपिका ने बात की कि एक पर्टिकुलर एज तक तो अवेयरनेस ही नहीं है, एजुकेशन नहीं है. वी हैव अ पैनल लेटर ऑन एजुकेशन एंड अवेयरनेस. आई विल गो बैक टू तनुजा and highlight, because we both here are representing media, what has been the role of media in creating misconceptions about mental health or shattering the taboos around mental health?
I wish it was the latter. Media, I would say films, have completely betrayed the cause. There just has been given no importance. I have been in the storytelling business myself for over 25 years, and it was only in a series that I made last year, that was released last year, in which there was actually one of the characters speaking to a therapist for the first time. So I think that the media is, like Dr. Parik was saying, caught in this web of like entertain, say the thing that captures people. By the way, you did capture us. so I think that what happens is that it is too quick to assume that people will think, अरे ये character का दिमाग खराब है. You know, all the cliches, of the world will come into Hindi cinema. And I speak only for Hindi cinema. So we are far behind what we should be doing. Things like this, I mean, I was really, really happy to hear you speak, first of all. It was wonderful to hear you speak. When one starts opening up one's heart, speaking about oneself and what we've gone through, you start to speak about all the things you're not supposed to speak about. You actually speak for others who are also not speaking, you know. So I think that it's very important that we start opening up. Hindi cinema, I'm afraid, will be the last to do that. We'll all try our best, the ones that really think it's very important to do it. But don't expect it to come from movies.
Right. I'll now take it to Kamna, because I also do a lot of intersections myself. So from media, I'm also from the practitioner's side. I'm a counselor, and a lot of psychiatrists, psychologists, friends are here. Do you think we also have some kind of a barrier as practitioners for women or for other marginalized groups? What are the challenges they face when they access practitioners? What do you think are the barriers there?
So I think in general there is a hesitation to reach out to experts. People experience in their own lives, in their own settings where they're coming from, a lot of times stigma, stereotyping. There is a lot of hesitation and resistance which comes in because you may not necessarily have people who understand things around you or can provide you with the support to say that it is right and okay for you to seek that help. So the barrier may not necessarily be that a therapist or a psychiatrist or psychologist, any expert, is someone who is not going to be able to create that space for you to be able to share your experiences. A lot of the hesitation is coming in from where you are possibly coming from. What is helpful is how is it that we are putting across information about what that experience can be? Why is it important for you to reach out and try and seek that help? How would early intervention really help you? Like Tanuja ji was sharing over here, that media plays a certain role, but also we as consumers of that media play a very, very large role. So while media needs to be responsible, I also need to take ownership to say I'm going to start raising some questions in my own mind to try and understand why certain messages are constructed. Where is that information coming from? What is leading to, what are the biases in it? What could be a value system which is being portrayed in it? So unless I am also willing to raise those questions, or whether it is to people around me, whether it is to the media content around me, which is talking about mental health, mental illnesses, help that could be available, unless I also raise those questions, I'm not going to create an environment which is comfortable enough for me to utilize those resources, which could be accessible. We are not saying they're adequate resources, but they are nevertheless there.
Right.
And they themselves are also often not adequately utilized by individuals, which is something that we need to also try and understand.
Yeah. So from one practitioner to another.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
That the thing of this hathoda of pace and capturing is where a lot of the problem lies. It's got to be dealt with patiently, listen carefully, mindfully, and not that capture my attention right away. If you can't do it in 5 minutes, then I'm not interested in knowing what.
Right.
It is going to take a while.
Yeah.
And so will you attending to your own health. It's going to take a while. And you'll be shocked to discover how much there is wrong with you in a seemingly very happy person.
Right. Yeah. And I would not say there's something wrong, but we are all just in different spaces. In the same time and space also, in the same storm also, we could be in different ships. I could be in a very tardy boat which is going to sink any time, and you could be in the Titanic which is also going to sink. But you will get a film made about it. And I'll go down quietly. So that's the difference. From one practitioner, Kamna, to another practitioner, Dr. Sujata comes to us from AIIMS. And AIIMS incidentally has the largest patient load in the country, AIIMS Delhi. और हर तरह के लोग आते हैं डॉक्टर, वहाँ अलग अलग भाषा का चैलेंज है, फाइनेंसेस का चैलेंज है, पूरे देश से लोग आते हैं. तो खासकर महिलाओं के लिए, फॉर विमेन, what do you think could be done from the government sector particularly to facilitate the access?
I think, Pooja, I mean, if we are only focusing on the access to a hospital or a large tertiary care hospital, I think there is no barrier in accessibility, right? However, when I say that, the barrier itself starts from the home, as Kamna and my colleague, Tanuja pointed
Yeah.
out. So the health-seeking behavior itself, when I say health-seeking behavior, it starts from home, and it starts from a particular community, from each household level. But there also culture plays a very important role. And if you look at the data on health-seeking behavior of women, it is very poor. They are at the bottom of the health-seeking, right? It's partly responsible is our culture, partly responsible of our, the way woman is perceived, like sacrificing and then, compromising, sacrificing, adjusting, binding to families together, whatever. So when you say health-seeking behavior and the barrier itself, it starts from there. Even a penny spent on a woman is a big issue in a family, right? So accessibility, if the health-seeking behavior is very strongly related to accessibility of healthcare down from the village level, and we get patients from all over the country, especially the northern, eastern, and the northeastern part of the country, and lot of refugees as well. So when it comes to women from different parts of our own country, accessibility, availability, and then facilitating the process is not a very big issue. But when we get a lot of refugees from outside India, let's say from Afghanistan, from Bangladesh, then there are a lot of cultural issues in accessibility. First, in addition to that, language is a barrier, right? And when language is a barrier, then there is the connection between the patient and the doctor that could itself be affected in case we don't have to, in case we are not very, very careful and we do not understand the nuances of which culture they are from.
Right.
Right. So accessibility itself is not a big issue, but yes, again the thought process, the attitude, the mindset, as rightly said. So these play a major role in that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, accessibility in a big tertiary care hospital is not a big issue.
Right. So I'll pick from there and come to you, Deepika, since you've been working with marginalized groups for so long.
And I'll take 1 second
Yeah.
to connect to what Tanuja ji said. When we look at media, there is a disconnection between media and mental health professionals.
Yeah.
Somewhere I feel. And that strong bonding to understand the nuances of each different illnesses, that's not there. That's missing. If you look at different, there are many movies. Some movies are focusing on PTSD, some are on psychosis, some are on depression. But however, if you evaluate it, whether it rightly portrays that particular illness, no, that is missing. And that is missing because there is not a strong bond or a formal network between the media people and the professionals, mental health professionals. Yeah. And in case we can establish that particular network, right? And then movies will be, they will portray the illness and different facets of illness from illness to recovery very well.
Yeah.
If that network is established.
Yes, of course. Media can be a bridge and can help in education and awareness hugely. So I was connecting that with Deepika. She's been working with a lot of marginalized people, especially from the queer community, transgender people. So films and media and the society at large, the biases are there. The media reflects the same or both ways. आपके क्या अनुभव रहे हैं कि मार्जिन से जब आप आते हैं तो वो चैलेंज कितना बढ़ता है और उसको नेविगेट कैसे करें, ब्रीफली बताएं.
ओके, सो पहले तो मैं एक दो छोटी छोटी चीज़ों के बारे में बात करूंगी मीडिया या मेंटल हेल्थ मूवीज़ के हिसाब से. सो कुछ चीज़ों के बारे में मूवीज़ ने ऑलरेडी दिखाया है. जैसे मैं बोल रही थी कि छोटी एज, तो तारे ज़मीन पर मूवी हम लोगों ने देखी है. और ऐसे केसेस हम लोग बहुत बार देखते हैं अपने बच्चों के साथ. बट वी ऑल्सो डोंट रिएक्ट लाइक दैट. हम भी वैसे ही रिएक्ट करते हैं जैसे उसमें पेरेंट्स ने रिएक्ट किया था. तो शायद वो थोड़ा सा गलत है मुझे लगता है, और हम ध्यान नहीं देते. हमने भी तारे ज़मीन पर मूवी देख के बस छोड़ दी है, उसको जिंदगी में इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किया है. नाउ आई विल कम बैक टू माई ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी. सो ताली मूवी की अगर हम बात करें, जो वेब सीरीज है, उसके अंदर भी एक पर्टिकुलर केस है, इंसिडेंट है, क्योंकि इसकी स्टोरी जब लिखी जा रही थी तो उसके लिए भी वो लोग मेरे पास आए थे नोएडा में, और उसमें मेरा थोड़ा सा एक हिस्सेदारी है, क्योंकि कुछ चीज़ें मुझसे पूछ के लिखी गई थी। तो जब एक पार्टनर शादी कर रहा है और शादी करके एक ट्रांस व्यक्ति को छोड़ दे रहा है, तो वो सुसाइड अटेम्प्ट कर रही है करके, और वो मर जाती है, ठीक है। तो उस पार्ट में हमने दिखाया था, बाकी पीछे का हिस्सा हमने स्टोरी में लिखा और बोला, बट वो उस तरीके से पोर्ट्रे नहीं हुआ करके, क्योंकि वो बहुत कम टाइम में मूवी को खत्म करना होता है। वो सब सारी चैलेंजेस हमको बताए गए कि ये चैलेंजेस है, हम इसको इस तरीके से नहीं कर सकते हैं, वगैरह वगैरह। बट दीज आर द रियल चैलेंजेस, है ना। सो इफ आई टॉक अबाउट ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी, जो मैं रेगुलर बेसिस पे देखती हूँ, और इफ आई टॉक अबाउट होमोसेक्सुअलिटी एट लार्जर पर्सपेक्टिव अगर मैं देखती हूँ, तो उसमें मैं ये देखती हूँ कि अगर बहुत रिसेंटली अगर मैं डेटा की बात करूँ तो ऑलमोस्ट 19.5 मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 20% ऑफ द मैन आर सफरिंग विद द मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम। बट उसमें ही अगर मैं देखती हूँ वुमेन्स की बात, तो ऑलमोस्ट 27% वुमेन्स आर सफरिंग विद द मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम। बट अगर मैं चली जाती हूँ वहीं पे ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी, जिसमें ट्रांसमैन ट्रांस वुमन दोनों ही आते हैं, ट्रांसमैन ट्रांस मैस्कुलिन आइडेंटिटीज एंड ट्रांस फेमिनिन आइडेंटिटीज, उसकी अगर मैं बात करती हूँ तो ऑलमोस्ट 70% ऑफ द ट्रांस पर्सन्स आर सफरिंग विद द मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स। सो इसकी जब मैं बात कर रही हूँ 70%, तो इसमें मोस्ट ऑफ देम, हमारे पास एक डेटा है, 44% have attempted suicide once in a life.
And Deepika, I'll halt you a little bit here. So I did not give this disclaimer since this is a mental health conversation. Some of us might in our stories or narrations talk about deaths by suicide or suicide attempts. People here might feel triggered or might feel upset about this. We have a lot of mental health practitioners here. If anybody feels distress, please connect with the organizing team.
Yeah, sure.
Step out, breathe, and come back. Thank you so much. Please.
Yeah, but it's important to share because the reality people should know. That is why I am sharing, because in my life I have also applied that to my own body and to own my mind also. So I have also tried, and people has also tried. So we have this data, and I have also contributed to this particular study. So this is the fact and reality of the life, and I have supported many people. Even day before yesterday, I have supported one person, and she came to my office day before yesterday, and I have supported her to make her transgender certificate, which is there by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So I'll come back to one more point which you have highlighted, that when it comes to media and social media, कि बहुत सारी ऐसी बातें आती हैं जिसको बहुत फनी मोमेंट में ले लिया जाता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई टॉक अबाउट कुछ इंसिडेंट, अगर मैं बात करूँ राजा हिंदुस्तानी मूवी में है, और कुछ मूवीज हैं जो और भी अलग मूवीज में जब लिया जाता है तो उसको बहुत फनी मोमेंट के तौर पे, प्यार किया तो डरना क्या, ऐसे बहुत सारे मूवीज हैं, मैं और भी बहुत सारे बता सकती हूँ, बट लोगों को वो समझ नहीं आता है। मैं एक ही मैसेज देना चाहती हूँ कि बहुत बार जॉनी लीवर और बहुत सारे ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स हैं जब उस गेटअप को कुछ देर के लिए लेते हैं और छोड़ देते हैं, लेकिन पीपल रिलेट आवर जेंडर एक्सप्रेशन एंड आइडेंटिटी विद दैट ओनली फॉर लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। हमेशा वो यही देखते हैं कि वहां पर हमने ऐसा देखा था, वहां पर हमने ऐसा देखा था, बट दैट्स नॉट द रियलिटी। वो सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर रोल प्ले के लिए किया गया था वहां पर, बट एक जिंदगी है, वो एक अलग कहानी है। जैसे आप शबनम मौसी एक मूवी देख सकते हैं, हालांकि उसको नहीं दिखाया गया है, तो ऐसी चीजों को देख सकते हैं, तो उससे ज्यादा क्लैरिटी आएगी और समझ आएगी। इसी बात के साथ मैं इस बात को समाप्त करती हूँ, और हम टी ब्रेक पे बात भी कर सकते हैं if anyone wants to talk.
Yeah, thank you so much, Deepika. So now I'll, last but not the least, go to Dr. Pankaj. He's the minority in the panel, but we need allies. So let's clap for the men who are supporting mental health. So I'll give him the closing words on this. As practitioners, we need men as allies on women mental health. In families and homes, we need men as allies. In media, I do not see too many male filmmakers unfortunately portraying mental health or women's issues, what they call issues, correctly or sensitively. So, what is the role, Dr. Pankaj, of allies? And please sum up the panel for me.
Yeah, thank you. As you rightly said, the minority in the panel, and I take it from there. So this is a stage set by you. You choose who the panelist, how many female, male would be the panelist. You are a decision maker in this thing, in your team. So you could choose and you could put up the voices of female and the different criteria, transgender, genders, and everyone. So listen to their voices and what they go through and what they're going through the mind. So this is the thing which need to, in the reality, it is all opposite of it. And that's the real sad part in the irony. This number of females will be missing and this number of males will be there, and only one female or hardly in particular female representation will be there in the policy making, in the top home sitting over there and deciding what to be done, what not to be done. So automatically when the mindset, majority are there in the male policy making, and anywhere, as you rightly said, in the home, in the politics or wherever you tell it, so automatically what they portray or they decide or they do will be surely gonna biased with their own experiences. Whatever post they will be setting at, they may be IAS, the MP, MLA, or whatever they will be doing, a media person or filmmaker. So automatically the bias that tend to come in their own decision making. That is a part of personality. We can't differentiate that. So all the policies which will be made, all the mindsets which will be made, top to bottom, will gradually add up, and then it will really come into the real world. It will be a very biased picture what we will have. So females participation automatically is very low, and when what the share they really get the real world becomes even lesser when they reach the real female. And this, imagine what we are doing. This is the metro, capital of India, sitting in the heart of the country, and see the implied of the female and what the mental health services are, availability and accessibility, as you talked, is there. Now think 100 kilometers from Delhi, not far away, not going to any tribes or issues, forget that area. 100 from the Delhi scenes are really bad, really bad. They hardly, as rightly said by my colleagues, they hardly know what mental health is. लोगों को mental health पता ही नहीं है. जैसे दीपिका जी ने सही कहा, उनकी दादी को mental health बताएंगे, नहीं समझ में आता, पिताजी को समझ में नहीं आता, जबकि वो इस समस्या से जूझ रहे हैं. I still remember PG days. I did my PG MD from Lucknow KGMC. Majority of our OPD used to serve 100 patients a day in our PG days in Lucknow, government college. So वहाँ पे the majority was male patients. Female were hardly any patients. ऐसा नहीं कोई बीमारी नहीं होती. Data says females are double at risk of mental health. एक मेल को अगर डिप्रेशन होगा तो 2 फीमेल को डिप्रेशन में सोसाइटी में है. Double है. The data says. But in reality, accessibility and reaching to a doctor and a psychologist, a psychiatrist, वो multiple times low है. वो real fact है. So हम पूछते थे भाई क्यों लाए, तो सिर्फ जब महिला घर की काम करना बंद कर देती थी, झाड़ू लगाना बंद कर देती थी, खाना देना बंद कर देती थी, गाली गलौज शुरू कर देती थी, सिर्फ जब वो एक ट्रबल क्रिएट हो जाती थी अदर मतलब प्रोवाइडर, तब उसको लाया जाता था मजबूरी में कि अब इसको ठीक कर दो, फिर घर इसको चलाना है. दैट इज अ रियल थिंग. इसलिए नहीं लाइफ अच्छी करनी है, उनकी लाइफ बिगड़ गई है, मेल्स की उनकी लाइफ अच्छी करनी है, इसलिए उसका इलाज कराने आ जाते थे. दिस इज अ रियल सैड पार्ट एंड दैट स्टिल कंटिन्यूज इन दिल्ली आल्सो. आई सी इन माय ओपीडी प्रैक्टिस एंड माय बैक्स एंड माय क्लिनिक really its picture hasn't changed much in the last 2 decades. So this is the really sad part. We need to give them more participation, real voice, and make a real noise starting from this small things and add it up to a bigger thing. So really लोग जाग जाएं, जो ऊपर सो रहे हैं बैठे हुए टॉप पे, कि भाई महिलाएं भी हैं, उनकी आवाज मैटर करती है, उनकी जीवन मैटर करता है, उनकी मेंटल हेल्थ की जरूरतें भी उसको देखिए और उसको एड्रेस करिए. इससे काम नहीं चलेगा.
Thank you.
Thank you for Pooja ji for
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj. And I will encourage all.
And sorry, the interesting part, एक study ये बोलती है कि 44% of the men doesn't talk about their mental health. वो छुपा के रखते हैं सारी बातें.
Yeah, I mean that's cultural and that goes across genders. But I'll take it up from there and say I want all the women here to be troublemakers. Be troublemakers in the house. काम करना बंद करो, अपने mental health पे ध्यान दो.